Listen, I need you to do something right now. I want you to think about what you did yesterday. Not the highlight reel version, the real version. What did you actually do with your time? Because I'm willing to bet that somewhere between waking up and going to sleep, there were hours, real, actual hours that just disappeared. You weren't working, you weren't resting, you weren't doing anything that actually mattered. You were just existing, scrolling, watching, waiting for the day to end. And here's the thing that nobody talks about. That's not a bad day. That's most days for most people. I'm not here to make you feel guilty. I'm here to show you exactly what those days are actually costing you. Because once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Let's start with the math. Because the math alone should terrify you. The average person spends about 4 hours a day on their phone. That's not including TV, Netflix, or YouTube, just the phone. 4 hours every single day. Now let's do something with that number. 4 hours a day is 28 hours a week. 28 hours a week is 112 hours a month. 112 hours a month is 1,344 hours a year. You want to know what 1,344 hours is? That's 56 full days, almost 2 entire months of your life, every single year, gone. Not invested, not spent on something you'll remember, just gone. And I know what you're thinking. I need to decompress. I need to relax. And you're right. Rest is real. Rest is necessary. I'm not talking about rest. I'm talking about the hours where you're not actually resting either. You're not recharged after 4 hours of scrolling. You're drained. You know the feeling. You put the phone down and you feel worse than before you picked it up. That's not rest. That's just time disappearing. Now here's where it gets uncomfortable. Most people have no idea what they would even do with that time if they had it back. And that's the real problem. It's not just that the time is wasted. It's that you spent so long filling every quiet moment with noise that you've lost the ability to sit with yourself and figure out what you actually want. Think about the last time you were bored. Not distracted bored, actually bored. Sitting in silence, no phone, no music, just your own thoughts. For most people, that hasn't happened in years. And boredom is where everything good comes from. Your best ideas, your biggest decisions, the things you actually care about, they live in the quiet. But you've buried the quiet under an endless feed of content that someone else made about someone else's life. So let's talk about what a low-effort day actually costs you. Not in hours, in trajectory. Every day that you coast is a day that the gap between where you are and where you want to be gets a little wider. It doesn't feel like it. That's the dangerous part. One wasted afternoon feels like nothing. But you string enough of those together and suddenly a year has passed and nothing has changed. Same job, same habits, same everything. And you're left with this quiet, nagging feeling that life is just happening to you. I've felt that. I think most people have. That feeling where you're watching your own life from the outside and wondering when things are going to shift. Here's the hard truth. They don't shift on their own. Nothing shifts until you decide that your time is worth something. Now, I'm going to give you something concrete because I hate videos that just tell you things are bad without telling you what to do about it. The first thing you need to do is audit your time. For 1 week, I want you to track where your hours actually go. Not what you think you do, what you actually do. Write down your day at the end of each night. Work, sleep, real rest, exercise, and then everything else. That everything else category is going to surprise you. You can't fix what you can't see. The second thing is to replace before you remove. Don't try to quit scrolling cold turkey. That never works. Instead, when you reach for your phone out of habit, have something ready to replace it with. A book on your nightstand, a project you're 10 minutes into, a walk you've been putting off. The habit of reaching for stimulation isn't the problem. What you reach for is. The third thing, and this one is the most important, is to protect your first hour and your last hour of the day. What you do in the first hour after you wake up sets the tone for everything that follows, and what you do in the last hour before you sleep determines how your brain consolidates the day. If you start your morning drowning in notifications and end your night doom scrolling, you're handing over the two most powerful hours of your day to an algorithm that does not care about you. Own those 2 hours, and your entire relationship with time will start to shift. Look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that every single second needs to be optimized. That's exhausting, and that's not the point. The point is that somewhere in your day, there are hours that aren't doing anything for you. They're not making you happier, they're not building anything, they're just filling space. And time is the one thing you cannot get more of. You can make more money, you can build new skills, but the hours you spend staring at a screen on a Tuesday afternoon, those are gone. That's just how it works. So the question isn't whether you're wasting time. You are. We all are. The question is whether you're going to keep doing it now that you know what it's actually costing you. Because 1 year from now, you're going to be a year older regardless. The only thing you get to decide is what that year looks like, who you become in it, what you build during it, whether you look back at it and feel something, or whether it just blurs into all the other years that slipped by without you noticing. That choice is yours. It's always been yours. I'll see you in the next one.